Hello there, hope you're doing well. Just put this video together for you. You're going to see me take 3 tracks through the recording, mixing and mastering process onto release. So they've been around for a bit of a time now, and now is the time to get the tracks finished. The first track up is a track called Majesty. It's pretty much there or thereabouts, got a bit of a vintage vibe to it. Most of the recording has been live, recording of things like Steinway pianos, electric guitars, etc., lead vocals, and actually in different studios. We've recorded in this studio, North Brighton studio, and the Doghouse studios with Mike and Dave. So you can see actually we can collaborate with other studios, and pretty much I'm here to now mix and master the track in this studio here. One thing with Majesty, I have put an additional Hammond program part in. I may extend that into the final chorus, and I don't really necessarily want to clutter this mix up too much, but I'm having second thoughts on whether the track needs an acoustic guitar in the choruses, because it has got a bit of an acoustic vibe to it. Okay, before we move on, please don't forget to subscribe. Click that bell icon. Give us a like. Love to hear all your comments below. Okay, let's move on to the video. Here is the arrange page of Majesty. So I'm just going to take you through what's been recorded in the track. Okay, so to start off with, we had a recorded electric Stratocaster that's playing picking and rhythm parts. And then we've got a Gibson 335 doing a lead part. And that's really the lead part is only really in the final chorus. Acoustic guitars, well, I did have some acoustic guitars recorded, but I really thought they were just cluttering up the mix, so I did remove them. But like I mentioned, I may change my mind. I've got some channel strips all kind of prepared, whether it's recording a drop D, capo 5 or normal tuning. So depending how I think about that, I may record acoustic in the choruses possibly, just to give a sense of movement to the track. Got a resonator guitar that's been recorded. That was recorded. Dave Hyde's resonator guitar in Doghouse Studios in Guildford. We recorded the resonator guitar. It crops up in verse 2 and also in the drop down, the outro of the track. Dave Hyde also recorded, or we recorded in his studio, his Steinway piano, which was very nice. And we've also got just a Hammond part that I programmed in the bridge section, which is a bit of a drop down. I may extend this out actually to the final chorus, you know, just in the bottom of the mix. Moving on to the lead vocals, I have done a scratch vocal, but I do want to replace that. I haven't really sung for some time, so I'm really at the minute you know, I've got some apps on my phone for doing vocal warm-ups, just to get my vocal tuning in place, get my breathing correct. And I'm also following a guy called Ken Tamplin, so I will put a little bit of a link to his website and his YouTube channel above. He's a really good guy, so following some of his tips and tricks. Okay, Hannah and Jen, Mike Sandman and his studio in Brighton, North Brighton Studios, we recorded Hannah and Jen. P-Bass is recorded in this studio, so I'm using my American Standard P-Bass with flat wounds on this particular track, and that's recorded through an Aguilar tone hammer. I'll put a picture up in a minute, just you should see it up in a minute on the video. And also that goes into a ISA 2 preamp. Now I've got a line out and also got a DI out on the Aguilar tone hammer, so I've got that's the 2 channels, that's the DI, that's the line in. Okay, live drums on this track was recorded in Dave Hyde's studio. So in terms of editing, pretty much guitars, bass and the drums have been edited, tweaked, adjusted to fit the grid as need be. Generally everything was recorded pretty well. Then didn't really need to be too much adjustment. A little bit on the piano too, I think. And then from there we move into our buses and effects. So there you have the arrange there you have the arrange panel there. So as you can probably see, everything pretty much is live recorded and live audio in effect, and I do want to maintain that vibe of this track to give it its acoustic live kind of feel. So let's have a look at the mix screen. So let me just start with maybe explaining my mix template, because many people will have different styles of how they like to map out their mix window, but this is how I like to do it. So, you know, starting from left and moving towards right, you saw the you saw the electric guitar. So in effect, those electric guitars are going to be bussed into a guitar bus here, and it will just follow all the way through. So pretty much identical how I like to do it. I've color coded my guitars. I color code my guitars green. So the acoustic guitar, if I'm going to use it with the reso, will be bussed into acoustic guitar. The pianos and jazz organs, or the hammered organ I should say, it will be bussed into a piano and synth bus. There's the lead vocal. So in effect, I'm going to do parallel compression next to the lead vocal and then bus it to a lead vox bus there. So I like to keep my buses for controlling the audio pretty much close together. There's all the backing vocals, and that's all going to a bus. The bass again going to a bus. This is the drums, live drums here, again going to a bus. And then everything goes to VCAs, so I can control the VCAs, I can automate these. So in effect, these are my main VCAs. So drums are going to drums, VCA, bass, electric guitars, acoustic, piano, lead, vox, BVs. So I can again do some final adjustments here. Now, to the right of the VCAs, I've now got my auxes. So I've got parallel compression. I do like to do parallel compression. So I've got that set up. The I/O input outputs are going to Outboard Gear, okay. And then next to that, I've got my effects, okay. The effects, you know, I've got vox verb, drum verb. That's a delay, a couple of delays, and there's some spares because I may need some more, okay. And then there's the master bus. So what I like to put on this particular master bus is that's going out to a Stam bus compressor. I'll put the photo up there, you can see the photo in a minute. And also this is a Kleinhelm VU meter, okay. So in terms of plugins, what I like to use is set this up like an SSL console. So I'm using plugins by UAD and Slate, and obviously a single SSL console from UAD will take up a lot of processing power. So in effect, how UAD plugins work, you've got separate processing power, okay. So but an SSL channel can eat up a lot of separate processing power. So I've got Slate stuff as well. So what I tend to do is I stick the SSL Slate on the drums, and then the SSL channel by UAD goes on all the other instruments. And I may choose to either put them across the audio, or for the example with regard to the BVs, there's, you know, literally that would eat up all my processing power if I stuck an SSL channel on every single channel. So in effect, I'm going to do the main processing in the buses, which is this BV bus, okay. So let me just show you Slate's SSL channel. Oh, don't want to mute him. Just let them there. Okay, let me. I don't need to do that really, but so this is the SSL channel. So across, let me just put that there. Across the kick drum, we've got a kick. I think that was a D12 kick mic inside the drum, bass drum, a ribbon mic outside, snare top and bottom. the channel is, there's the SSL channel. We've got a VCA compressor, a trimmer if I need to just gain match the channel, and we've got a gate, a drum, Stephen Slate's gate drum. So I'll probably use the gates across the snares and the bass, okay? But really nothing, you know, that's just on, but nothing's really on at this stage, okay? So that's Stephen Slate, and you'll see on the snare got pretty much the same. Hi-hat, I don't have the gate. So in effect, Stephen Slate SSL modules is on the drums, and the UAD ones, if I can just show you, let's just take the bass. So in effect, although I've got this Ampeg virtual B15N amp, it's not turned on at this stage, but what I have got is just the UAD SSL channel strip. Again, not done a little bit here and not much going on. Okay, really at this stage I just want to balance the mix. Go down to the piano. Again, I think there's going to be some EQ editing that I'm going to have to do, so I've stuck an SSL channel on every single mic, if you like, or channel. And again, you'll just see that pretty much it's in default. Okay. Take the guitars. Again, there's going to be some editing that's going to be needed. And we've got the SSL channel pretty much in default mode. Okay, so how I like to start the mix really is begin to get a balance, you know, just set up a balance of the mix. You know, everything's going through, if you like, the plugins in terms of the SSL channel strips, but in effect nothing's really, EQ's all in default, nothing's really kind of EQ'd, there's no compression going on. I just want to get a balance first. Okay, so here we go. Okay, let me just show you what I've done there. It's just a great tip I learned from Graham Cochran, and he picked it up from Jackiah King, I think. So basically what I want to do is just see if I can get the bass and the drum, or the kick drum, balanced well, and that'll be the basis for the whole mix. So in effect what I've done, I've just gained up the kick, so it's hitting around about -3, and then I'm driving up the bass, so with the kick and the bass, it should be hitting around about 0. So in effect, in theory, that is the kick and the bass pretty much balanced and mixed. And then what I can do, sorry we just see this just a minute. Oh, there we go. Take the bass out. Back in. Okay, so I'm just balancing the mix. I'm generally happy with that. Levels will change, things will be adjusted, but I want to, if I'm putting the foundation of the mix together, I want to make sure that the kick and the bass, that low end of the track, is pretty well balanced. So I'm going to just put that back now to 0. So there we go. so now just to kind of put some panning in place. That's a general good starting point. I think the overheads and the hi-hat and the room will just need to be gain stage a bit better, and which I can do in the basically I can do that in the virtual channel. So let's just do that now. So. Guitars. Have to do a little bit to gain stage these vocals. So what I can easily do with that is just literally just stick a Logic gain plug-in on there, something like that, and then I can just adjust the gain here.
Lord, I love to sing Lord, I love to sing your praises. I'm lifted up.
So what I'll do, if I'm happy with that, I'll just copy that across. Okay, but I can, I can do some adjustment here on this bus.
Lord, I love to sing your praises. You fill my cup. Lord, I love to sing your praises. I'm lifted up. Lord, I love to sing your praises. I lift you up.
Obviously there's going to be a bit more time me just finishing this off, just to get the balance a little bit better. One thing I haven't done, which I do need to do, is check for phase problems. There's probably going to be phase problems with the overhead, snare and the kick drum, so that's something I need to have a look at. There's definitely phase problems I can hear with the guitars. There may be some phase problems here with the piano. So the next stage, I've got a bit of a balance, and now I'm going to I won't bore you with this, but I'm just going to check phase on all the audio. And then really, I think once I get the mixing a good balance that I'm generally happy with, then I can start looking at EQ, and probably I'll start making notes as I go along. So I know there's some probably phasing issues, so I'll make a note to myself, and then as a mix progresses, hopefully that long list will just get a little bit smaller, and we can get it to a place where it's perfect and ready for mastering. Okay, so just to recap then, this song is called Majesty. There may be some additional recording. I've got to do my vocals. I've got to look at the Hammond, see if I want to extend that in terms of the program. I may consider putting some acoustic guitar, but really I want to progress this track now. So this is one of the 3 tracks. This is there or thereabouts, ready for the mix stage. Needs a little bit of audio. The other track that we're going to go through is called Speechless, which is pretty much there. Everything's recorded. It just now needs mixing. And the last track is a new track that Jonathan wrote, and you'll see that literally this is just really early days. We've just got a scratch vocal and a scratch acoustic guitar with some ideas being mapped out within the DAW of Logic Pro X. Okay, on to the next video. Okay, so thank you for watching. There's another video coming out, so please don't forget to click that bell icon with the subscribe button. Give us a like. Love to hear your comments as well. Put your comments below, and keep safe and well, and we'll speak to you very soon.